Alright guys, the next thing we need to do is build this wall right here. And I need to put some 2x6s on the outside so we can attach the metal to that. But this 6x6 right here is buried behind this metal. I already loosened it up off camera. So I need to get my nibbler and come in here and take off about 6 inches so we can attach a 2x6 from that post, attach it to this middle post, then go to the very end. And I may have some 20-foot 2x6s down there at the sawmill from the barn build left over. And if I do, we can go this full span right here. That would be really nice. And we'll mirror what we got on that wall over there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 2x6s right here. And this is about 16 foot long. And to make that cut, I'm going to use one of my favorite tools when it comes to working with this sheet metal. These Milwaukee nibblers right here. Man, these are nice. Alright guys, let me tell you about today's video sponsor. Now this is something I've added to my daily routine. I have this every morning when I first wake up, way before I even start to make my breakfast. And that product is mud water. And most importantly, one reason I added this to my daily routine is because it helps me keep away from having the jitters that I get with having coffee early in the morning. So in addition to over 50,000 5-star reviews, a few other features of this product is 35 milligrams of caffeine per serving, mushrooms grown in the USA, and also this is vegan, GMO, and gluten-free, no sugar or sweeteners, or no fillers or binders, and it's also been third-party tested. And I'll tell you what guys, I really like the taste of this stuff, and here in just a second I'll show you all how I make mine here at the farm. Now I got the starter kit, which includes this tin right here of the mud water, and another thing I really like, a $20 value that's free, this frother right here, and it's rechargeable. And my wife actually found some other uses of this in the kitchen, not just for the mud water. I think we use this every day, to be honest with you. It's a really neat little tool right here for the kitchen. So anyways guys, one of the most important features of this mud water for me has been getting rid of brain fog and staying sharp. I've been taking this stuff every morning for the past 2 weeks, and I can notice a big difference in how I stay more focused during the day. So there's a few ways you can mix up your mud water, and this is my favorite method right here. I get some hot water, and then I pour in the mud water, and then I go ahead and froth that up. And once that's complete, I go ahead and add the mud water creamer, which is pretty much some coconut milk. Once I add that into it, I then add about 1 cup of milk. I froth that up as well, and then voila, the perfect mixture in my opinion for mud water. Now this product, like I was saying, I have it first thing in the morning, but I have tried it in the early evening hours, and I really like it because it gives me that alertness, but doesn't keep me up at night like coffee would. So right now guys, you can use my discount code to get 15% off and also the free frother. Now there's a link down below in the video description, and there's also a link in the top comment in addition to the QR code on the screen. Alright guys, that nibbler made short work of that. Now we have some room right here to attach our 2x6s to the 6x6 post right here, and I'll probably rest them right on top of these to give them some extra support. It's the only downside of that nibbler. It does make a lot of little shavings. You gotta be careful, those will go right in your finger. And also, don't grab them with your finger when you're telling people. Don't touch them with your fingers. Got 2 of them stuck in my index right there. I had to pull them out. Those things are sharp. All right, guys, let's head down to the sawmill and see if we have some 2x6s down there, enough for this wall. All right, guys, let's talk about concrete here real fast. We're using this Sacrete right here. This is crack resistant 50-pound bags. This has fiber in it, which means, I know some of you guys may want to argue with me about this, and that's fine, but I can show you buildings here with no rebar, and I park stuff on them every day. But anyways, since this has fiber in the mix, you do not have to use rebar. But I'm pouring a stem wall this morning, a non-load bearing stem wall. I'm not building a building off this stem wall. Therefore, I don't have a really deep footer. I went down a couple of inches, but not too deep. But anyways, we'll talk about that here in just a second. I'm getting off topic. But anyways, guys, when you have fiber in your concrete, in my opinion, you don't have to use rebar. But since this is a stem wall and it's kind of narrow, it's only 5.5 inches wide, about 8 inches tall, I am going to be putting some rebar in here. I got some sticks laid in there on top of some rebar chairs, just for some added enforcement, or reinforcement rather, but really not necessary, but I like to overdo stuff sometimes. So that right there is why we are using rebar, even though the concrete has fiber in it. So I'm trying to do two things at once here today, guys. While this is curing over here, we can go over here and start on our wall. That way we can really maximize our time this morning and get a lot of stuff done. And a small update here on the Wood-Mizer. This is my 3rd or 4th time using it. And man, that thing's nice right there. You can rent these. I know rental houses have them for rent now if you don't want to buy one. It's almost $4,000, I think, if you buy one of these now. But if you have a lot of projects like this around your farm, it comes pretty handy. And you could always sell it when you're done and probably get your money out of it. But I doubt I will. I'll keep this around forever. It's nice to have. All right, guys, there it is. Now we're in the waiting game as it sits there and dries. I went ahead and did my corner though. On this side facing the form, I got it going. And I didn't film a lot of the pouring because I forgot to push record on this camera. I was trying to do like a time lapse of it, and I looked at my camera when I got down here to the end, and I realized I forgot to hit record, so that was my mistake. But really didn't miss much, just a bunch of concrete coming out of the Wood-Mizer. And it's kind of wet. I'm still trying to play with that setting and get that just right. I think it's a little too wet, but for what this is, it really don't matter, I don't think. And I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I'm sure the concrete pros will let me have it down in the comments, but for what I'm doing here, this right here will be perfect. Now, while this is drying, let's move on to something else. All right, guys, there's the first one. Now we just got to put 4 more of them on. We'll be ready for metal. Got this nice and level, and luckily I had one to go the full length right there. And something I like to do when I build anything, I like nails. I got nothing against them. That pass load makes things go really fast when you're working by yourself as far as tacking something up. But after I get it tacked up, I like to add something even better. Let me show you. All right, let's check our drawers over here. I should have some right down here. Let me see. Now that's overkill right there. Those are 10 inches. That's a little too long. But right here will be just perfect. That's about 6 inches, and that would give us a good solid bond between that 2x6 and that post. Well, I need more than one. According to the weatherman, and he's usually not right, but I think he's going to be this time, we're supposed to have some pretty bad storms move in about 30 minutes. Looking pretty rough out there. So it looks like we're done for the day, guys. I didn't get this wall put up as far as the metal goes, but at least I got the framing up and also that insulation right there. So that's a win right there. Now tomorrow, the only thing I have to do is come out here and put up my metal. It'll be done on this side. I've also got to come in here and do some grade work. This floor is not too level in here. That gap is way too big for this right here. Get my insulation tape and seal up this wall right here. And also something else I meant to do today, strap this post right here to the truss. We'll do that tomorrow though, no big deal. But as far as today's progress goes, I'm pretty happy. Got a lot done. This wall is ready for metal. I got my first stem wall done right there. It's looking pretty good. And I need to pour about 7 more of those before it's over with. So in closing here, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys back here on the next video. You guys hang in there.
Hello, Liza. How do you do? I'm writing you a letter. I hope it reaches you. I know it's been a long time since you heard from me. I'm still kicking around here in Tennessee. I heard you got a new place. I heard you got a new job. I heard you got a haircut and it looks real nice. Are you ever lonely? Do you ever think of me? I heard you got a new